So if you're autistic, you definitely experience this thing I'm going to tell you now, this trait or characteristic, or sometimes people call it symptom, but nobody talks about it. I'm going to be the one that talks about it. Okay, guys, let's go. Okay, so I have autism and ADHD. And by the way, guys, my name is Dan. So if you're new around here and you want to learn more about this stuff, then make sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified every single time I upload just by clicking on the notification bell down below. Now, one of the most interesting things, I experienced this trait of autism that everybody I know experiences, but the most interesting thing is nobody talks about it. And it's not talked about. It's less often even referred to in therapies, in any consult, OTs, anything like that. And it's absolutely, it blows my mind. And that is, you're going to love this, right? It's loving the routine of something and also really hating a routine of something. And you're going to be like, Dan, what the heck are you talking about? Autistic people love routine. And that's the buzzword. Now, if you're watching this and you're autistic and you already know that feeling, give this video a like so I know that I'm resonating with the right people, right? Now, listen up. This is going to get really, really interesting. And it's the most debilitating part, for me anyway, of autism. There's two parts that really kick my butt, right? Being autistic and ADHD, two parts kick my butt. One is, on the autism side, it's anxiety and OCD, which I'm going to talk about in this video. And on the other side, it's ADHD, anxiety, and impulsivity and lack of focus, right? So those things together make an incredible difference when you are able to understand them, but then you can also get therapy or medication or whatever that you need for that specific issue. It's not always that easy. It's not always that simple. So let's get on with this. Autistic individuals, let me say this, will have OCD, right? And OCD comes comorbid or co-occurring, which means it comes alongside autism. So autism comes with things like OCD, dyslexia, anxiety, depression, ADHD. And those things are kind of inherent, and autistic individuals have a bit of those things sprinkled about everywhere. However, most autistic individuals I know have two main things. One, ADHD, and second, OCD. Now, OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, a lot of people get confused and think that OCD is, I love washing my hands a million times because I want to get the germs off my hands. Or I love cleaning my house because I want my house to be clean and I'm OCD about it. You hear it all the time, like, oh, I'm a bit OCD with how my house is organized and things. And yes, that does come into OCD. Like if you have OCD, you can experience those issues. However, the true kicker from OCD is much deeper, much darker, and much more sinister in the mind than just, hey, I want to clean my house, wash my hands 10 times a day. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. So I'm actually sharing a really personal kind of like trait that I have, like my own personal trait of OCD versus autistic OCD. And I've never shared this before. I've never shared this with anybody other than my partner now. And my partner, I've been with her for just over a year. She's the first person I've ever let into this kind of like very personal bubble, because OCD is something that like is super personal. And the reason it's super personal is because it sounds crazy when you say it out loud. And it seems crazy. You even know it's crazy, but we still do it. And autistic people suffer from this in the most intense way. And so I'll go through it first. What I'm going to do, there's two types of OCD. And the reason there's two types of OCD is because autistic people experience both types, and only autistic individuals will experience both types of OCD. Now, autistic individuals love routine. You've heard this a million times. We're like the same foods, the same plate. We like going to the same place. We like the same cereal. We like sitting in the same spot. We like watching the same TV shows. You get the picture. This repetitiveness or this self-stimulatory behavior is a soothing, calming, relaxing ability for us to really understand the world around us. And why is that? And if I give you more context for that, it'll make a bit more sense. Now, the world is set up in a way where there is completely unexpected turns constantly. You know, there's delays on the buses. You don't know when the traffic lights are going to change. Somebody's going to phone you abruptly. The mailman's going to knock the door. There could be an emergency happening, right? So all this chaos is going on in the world. And that chaos for autistic individuals is hard to navigate because we are trying to process the information and understand the information around us on top of dealing with that chaos. So you can just imagine that's just a whole whirlwind, a nightmare, if you will, of trying to stabilize yourself all the way through. So how do we ground ourselves? How do we become normalized? Not normal, normalized as in a wave function. A wave function is like, if it's normalized, it's flat. How do we become normalized? And this comes from a really simple practice of how autistic individuals or their brains work, or our brains work, is we found comfort in knowing predictability, what comes next. And if we know what's going to come next, then there's no deviation between point A and point B, which is kind of like why we use those now and next cards. You ever heard of those? Like autistic kids will have, we're having breakfast now, and then next we're going to go to the store. That's like a visual aid to tell them what they're doing, right? Because knowing what we're doing will give us a sense of calm, because we're like, okay, we know what we're doing. So we can deal with some of the chaos because we know what we're doing in the other part. Our entire existence, our own urging ourselves towards life is being kind of scripted and taken care of. Hence why, if you're an autistic person, or you look after an autistic person, or autistic people, and they have had a change of plans or a deviation of what was expected of them in that day, it could cause massive issues, meltdowns, shutdowns, burnouts, overwhelm. And this is because how we thought it was going to go didn't actually go to plan. Now, before I get into it, I just want to talk to you about this little bad boy. This is the loop timer. Now, loop timer is the first kind of timer that I've seen for adults on the autism spectrum and with ADHD. And it's made by a guy who has ADHD, a good friend of mine, Cody. He's awesome, right? And he's made this thing himself. This guy is a legend. I use this timer so much. It's USB-C chargeable, and it's just amazing. It has this like light that you can have around the outside of it. So this one's blue light that's going around the outside, showing a blue display. It's a big display, but one of the coolest things, dude, is this is magnetic. Look at this. So you can literally have the loop timer anywhere. This thing is amazing. This is the first edition of it. Now you can go to the link in my bio, or just simply click the link on the card in this video to see the loop timer. I have a link permanently in my bio for the loop timer, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm pretty sure there is a promo code with it in the link in my bio, so go check it out. Code is amazing. If you support this, you're supporting not only an ADHD business, but also you're supporting the future of how we as ADHD, ADHD, autistic individuals use things. Now, I use the timer to keep on track with tasks because I do things daily, like I'm dealing with clients, I'm dealing with like making videos, that's why I got one on right now, or I'm having to do a phone call, or maybe I need to script something. So it's kind of like, dang, I need to have something that keeps me on track visually. And this is amazing and aesthetically pleasing for my minimal desk setup, and I love it. So check it out now, Loop Timer. Amazing, amazing work. Link in bio. Okay, guys, so now we've established that why we like routine, or why we like doing those things repetitively, those things bring us joy. Or in a better way of saying it, like doing those things over and over again give us a happy feeling or a happy hormone release. Similar to the KonMari effect from the Maria Kondo method, where this Japanese lady, Maria Kondo, she explains how we should surround ourselves with the things that spark joy in our life. And this is how we declutter things if we're being a bit too kind of hoarding of random things. And what Maria Kondo says is that the KonMari method means that those things spark you joy, and you feel that joy, which is kind of like autistic individuals feel joy from doing routines. So that is an OCD, or a compulsion, right? An obsessive compulsion to want to do the same things over again because you already know the outcome, it's predictable, and you get comfort from it and a happy release from it, right? So what's the alternative? And the alternative is the sinister side of it, the other side of OCD. Now, this is obsessive compulsive disorder in its worst form, and autistic individuals experience this. You experience this. It is the OCD that makes you want to do something so that nothing bad happens. So, for instance, if I don't put my towel straight, this weird intrusive thought comes to my head saying like, hey, put it straight, or somebody's going to die, or something bad's going to happen to people you love, or your life is going to turn into garbage. And you're like, holy smokes, like what? And it sounds crazy because you're like, well, I don't need to do these things. Like, you don't control me. This is just my mind playing tricks on me. This is life, and life is infinite, and we have the ability to do anything we want. However, it takes a hold of you. And this is my personal one. This is one of the biggest ones that kicks my butt. And I have to do this. And I've never shared this publicly, so this is kind of it. And I'll share B-rolls while you see exactly the process I do this. When I go for a shower, when I come out of the shower, I have to put my towel down so that the towel kind of like faces one way underneath me, so I don't step onto the actual mat, the bath mat. I have to step onto the towel on top of the mat, and it has to curl over, and the tag needs to be on the right-hand side. Brush my hair back 3 times, hop out of the bath on one leg, which is usually my left leg, and then I tap my forehead 3 times, and then I have to tap wood 3 times, and then it's done. The amount of times I've had to stand in the shower cubicle, freezing cold, repeating this process after my shower is ridiculous. And as much as I don't want to do this, I'm compelled to do it. As an OCD, I feel like it's eating me alive. I'm going to give you a tip of how to deal with things if you're experiencing this in a minute as well. But currently this is the one I can't kick, right? And it's constant. Now, I used to have one where if I was in the shower, I'd have these kind of exfoliating gloves, right? Just to keep your skin healthy and stuff. It's like these exfoliating gloves and use exfoliating serum and all that. And I used to have to like squeeze them a certain amount of times, then wring them under the water for a certain amount of times, and then like wring them out, squeeze them and wring them out a certain amount of time, and then put them back a certain way on the little hook in my shower. Now that took me so much time that I was just overwhelmed with it. And then my girlfriend was like, just throw it away and use something else. And I was like, okay. So she took them and threw them away and then replaced it with those like squeegee kind of like exfoliating kind of scrubby things, right? And that's cool because it's different. It's not what my mind had set on it. And that was okay. That's taken care of that. But I can't seem to kick this last part, this little ritual of coming out of the shower. But, you know, we're getting there. Now, it sounds crazy because I know that nobody's going to die, but it's hard for you to understand that as someone who suffers with OCD. And what is it that I can do to overcome this, right? Because there's 2 ways that you can overcome this, or 2 ways that you can help this. But before I tell you how you can help it, one of the most interesting things about it is that when you try to do it yourself, that then leads into another OCD. It's kind of like this. Like, I'd be washing my hands like 3 times and wringing them out 3 times and then wash them on the towel, put the towel back correctly. So I'd be like, right, I'm not going to do that anymore because that's eating me alive. So now I'm just going to wash my hands once, wring them once, and then rub my hands on the towel. That becomes the new one. You see, it starts to eat, and it's like, okay, then I do the towel, then I have to step to the right, and then I have to walk out of the bathroom, but with my right foot first. Like, it's insane. It kind of grows on. It's like a vine inside your brain. The more you try to kind of like push it to the sides, the more it tries to take a hold of you. But there is a way to help. You can do 2 things. One is have confirmation. This one worked really, really well. Confirmation of somebody that you trust and love really, really well. So I love when I trust my partner. Bless her soul. She's amazing, an incredible woman, incredibly inspiring to me, and I love her to pieces. So I asked her, can you just reassure me that nobody's going to die? Can you reassure me that nothing bad's going to happen if I don't do something? She's like, yeah, nothing bad's going to happen, dude. I'm like, okay, all right. And I trust her, right? And I need that. I need to hear that. And the second thing is, what she did, she was like, hey, I can help with the OCD. I'll just take the gloves away and give you a squeegee. Huh. So it was out of my control that had changed, which means it's not my fault. I'm not to blame for it. So my OCD was not affected by this, right? So having somebody else intervene, third-party wise, with the things that you need help with will help just cull some of that OCD damage. Because what tends to happen is, like, I've been late for work, I've missed appointments, I've literally just made myself sick from some OCDs that are just like nonsensical. And it grows. Like I said, the more you try to do it on your own, the more it will just switch it for something else, and then that will grow into an OCD. It's really, really difficult. But one of the best ways to overcome this is building confidence. Now, if you're interested, I have a free training program that you can download right now. If you go to www.bulletproofbrain.org, you can download my Autistic Adults Confidence training kind of program, just a little program. You can take it. It's only 5 little pieces in there. There's a video and like 4 little guides. Use this, build confidence, and you'll be able to ace many things in life that autistic struggles give you, including the OCD. All right, guys. Peace.